brand new. My first cryptocurrency to watch of 2018 is EOS. So what is EOS? There's been a lot of talk about EOS. I've spoken about EOS a ton of times by name, but never really spoken about the project, never really spoken about what it's aiming to achieve. So what is EOS in a nutshell? It's essentially a decentralized apps builder. Okay, you can create decentralized apps. Decentralized apps that can essentially do anything. Like, look at Steam. That is a decentralized app. It's a decentralized social network. That is my example for creating a decentralized app. What EOS allows people to do, developers, is to create their own decentralized apps in an easy way. It allows them to build them straight on the platform. Okay, so let's now talk about the positives. Why might you want to invest in EOS? What are the investable qualities of EOS? Well, it allows direct build of high quality decentralized apps. Okay, so it's easy development of decentralized apps. So this is easy compared to Ethereum's difficult. So if you're making something for Ethereum, you have to develop the application, then you have to write it for specifically for Ethereum. Okay, so you've got to kind of make sure it's all working how you want it, and then you've got to write specifically for Ethereum and write the code and build the code for Ethereum to make it all work, and then you add all of the functions on top of it. You write the smart contract functions, you write the database functions and everything. All of this is inbuilt in EOS. There's no need to write it outside of the platform. You build it within the platform and you get a range of tools, and smart contracts are integrated. So, smart contracts integration. So there's better user experience. Okay, so everything is already inbuilt. You can just add these. Whatever the smart contract is needed for, it's something for something. You're putting in, you're getting out. Okay, so if you get however many upvotes, you get a certain amount of Ethereum back or whatever cryptocurrency back. So the smart contracts integration makes for a better user experience. Not only that, but also the transaction amounts are going to essentially phase out gas. So in Ethereum, you need gas for the as part of the, I suppose, the smart contract. So if you're getting involved in an ICO, you're wanting to invest in an ICO, you've got to add gas to your Ethereum that you're sending over for this ICO, and then you get the requisite amount of tokens back. They are phasing out gas, so there's no gas. So essentially, better user experience for the everyday user of an EOS platform. One of the big USPs of EOS is the super blockchain. So they are making a blockchain more technologically advanced and better performing than what's currently out there. So it allows for scalability. It allows better scalability for developers. And I guess one of their big kind of evidences of this scalability is that they can essentially process 1 million plus transactions a second. 1 million plus a second. So they've created, in the process of creating, a super blockchain that can handle this. Now, as far as being a developer is concerned, when you are creating these apps, you get account management tools, you get database management tools. All of this are within platform. You don't need to have anything external. So for developers, this is an absolute dream. For users, this is an absolute dream. For scalability, it's excellent. For smart contracts and transactions and speed of transactions, unbelievable. Okay, and this is what not many people know about EOS. They just know the name EOS, and they hear about it like Ethereum on steroids. That has always been the kind of code name for EOS. Ethereum on steroids. This is basically a super Ethereum. All right? And the person behind it is Dan Larimer. And Dan Larimer is the co-founder of Steam and BitShares. Okay? So a decentralized exchange and a decentralized social network. Both of which are extremely successful. Both of which are decentralized apps that he has created. So he is the main guy behind EOS. He has created these already. He knows what the problem is to solve. He sees what's out there and what's not out there for developers, having built these big decentralized apps himself, and now he's created this super blockchain to enable the best decentralized apps to come out. And having founded certainly Steam, one of the most impressive decentralized apps out there. I love it. A lot of people in the cryptocurrency game, they put their stuff on Steam. Steam is the social network of cryptocurrency at the moment. If you want to create something like a Steam, like a invest feed, but you want to have it with smart contracts integrated. So for instance, for InvestFeed, at the moment they've just added their tipping thing. So with smart contracts, you literally press the tip, and then the smart contract gives the tip, takes the tip away, gives it to the user. All of that integration helps the user experience and makes any app built in EOS absolutely amazing. So these are the benefits of EOS. This is what people don't really know about EOS, but you do now. So what are the negatives of EOS? Well, first and foremost, this is the thing that put off so many from EOS, and that is the 1 year ICO, the 1 year kind of crowdfunding. Okay, so it's going to be going on now until about June, July time. This ICO is going to be carrying on. So essentially there's going to be tokens constantly added to the supply and diluting the value, I suppose, all the time. Because, you know, when the price goes up to, let's say at the moment, it's high $2, and people are thinking, yes, this is good. They add more tokens, brings down the value of the supplies automatically. And that has not been something people like. Certainly something I didn't like. Secondly, it's just the whole, what's the point? Why have it this way? A lot of ICOs are, you put money in, the ICO ends, and then people get their tokens, and then they can trade them, and then that's that, okay? Basically, the value is completely decided by what's on the exchanges. But you got the ICO going. So it's just been confusing. It's been a very odd way, an unorthodox way of doing this crowdfunding thing for EOS. So that's put a lot of people off. So over the course of the next 7 months, this is going to continue. The 1 year long ICO is going to continue to dilute the brand. But on the plus side, you've got to look at this as EOS are constantly getting a fund of people that they can then reinvest into creating a super blockchain. So you've got to look at the good with the bad. 1 billion supply. This is something that I always bring up when I talk about EOS. This has been something that sticks in a lot of people's throats. The supply. When you traditionally have a big supply, it makes it harder for the coin to move. Even when it gets 10 million pumped, even if there's 10 million trade volume in a cryptocurrency, if this had half the supply, it would move up double. Okay, move up a lot quicker. But you need much more of an injection of cash into a cryptocurrency to make it increase in value if you've got a high supply. So this is something that's just worth knowing. But this is my absolute cutoff point. Anything over 1 billion is too much for me. Personally, I don't like investing in coins with more than a billion supply. So EOS, this is my absolute cutoff point. My ideal is low 9 figures, kind of 200 million. But 1 billion, absolute cutoff point for me. So it's not too bad. And as you've seen over the last, few weeks, this has really risen from where it was, which is about 40 cents. Ridiculous. Bet you wish you got involved then. Now, it's not yet developed, so you can't really see. The developers can't test it. Developers can't make anything. There's no real way of seeing, does this work? Is this a better solution than Ethereum? Are there issues with the coding? Are there flaws? Are there security flaws as well? One of the things that, certainly what I was speaking about with QuantStamp, if there are issues with the smart contracts function, then that can instantly reduce the user experience. It can easily, it can make it worse. Okay, so it's not yet developed. There's no real way of testing how good is it. Is it likely to compete with Ethereum? For lots of us as investors, all we really see is this is what we're being told. Okay, 1 million transaction per second, ability to create amazing decentralized apps. But we don't necessarily know the capabilities. We aren't able to compare like for like. We can't compare an Ethereum decentralized app with an EOS decentralized app right now. This is a big issue regards to the long-term ability to see, is this an Ethereum killer, which many people have badged this. Lastly, will it always be second best to Ethereum? All right, so let's have a look at what is, if you were to ask 100% of people involved in cryptocurrency right now, if you were to say, what do you think is the most popular cryptocurrencies right now, the two most popular, most people would say Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most people would. They wouldn't say Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. They say Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum is almost building the same kind of name as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is always going to be able to stay ahead of Bitcoin Cash because it's got the McDonald's name. Ethereum's like the KFC. So how could something that's very similar to KFC be better than KFC? It's going to be very difficult for that to happen. You know, I don't know what it is in America, what the name of the chicken places in America, but it's going to be very difficult to be better than the number one. So will it always be second best to Ethereum? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I mean, look, Bitcoin Cash, look where that is now, $1,600. That's an excellent profit if you got in at, let's say, $200, $300. So where being second best is better than being third best, fourth best, fifth best, 10th best. Okay? And could it be better? Well, that is what we need to find out. We're still very early in the game. You never know. In 2 years' time, we might be saying Bitcoin and EOS are the best ones. And we may need to wait till mid-year 2018 for the price to actually rise, because that is when the ICO ends. There's not going to be a deflationary impact on the price, and we're going to see how the funding has actually led to reality. What do the apps look like in reality? It's a little bit like District 0x. You need to actually see what the apps look like in reality before you can actually say, yes, that is great. They have hit the sweet spot. That is it. They are now the Ethereum of the space, and Ethereum up, gone. But you may need to wait till mid next year for the price to rise. Okay, but there will be the price will be going up. But I don't expect it to really skyrocket until the ICO period has really ended. So, final rating. What do I give this cryptocurrency out of 5? I am giving it 4 stars out of 5. I think that this is going to be a mammoth for 2018. So let me tell you why. Firstly, I think that it's going to be it's going to be in the narrative. There's a narrative right now between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. Okay, you've got Bitcoin people, and then you've got the Bitcoin Cash people. You've got Roger Ver versus Bitcoin and Satoshi, right? That is the storyline. That's the narrative. That's what Bitcoin Cash are hanging on to get more value. Okay, they are hanging on to that storyline. If they didn't have a Bitcoin, if they didn't have like somebody to be against, and if there wasn't like an enemy in the narrative, it wouldn't have as much appeal. But the narrative is where the appeal is. You've got 2 opponents. You've got Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. The same is now happening in Ethereum. You've got EOS versus Ethereum. It's going to be a tussle between Vitalik Buterin and Dan Larimer. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be tussling. They're going to be the ones that are going to be fighting for supremacy over this whole space. You know, the whole operating system space. As far as currencies go, you've got Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. As far as builders are concerned, you've now got Ethereum and EOS. Okay, so this is where you're going to see, I think, the big battle of 2018. We've had a big battle between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. I think that's kind of, gotten a bit boring now. But EOS and Ethereum, this is going to be really exciting for 2018. So my estimate for 2018 is this is going to go at least 10 to 20 times from where it is. So it's going to be anything from kind of to $25 to $50, in my personal opinion, over the course of an entire year. Now, when you look at things on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't move a lot. But I think that as we see the battle for supremacy start taking place between EOS and Ethereum, as we see some really good decentralized apps created on EOS, on the EOS platform, I'm going to actually think that the value of it is just going to skyrocket, particularly after the ICO. It's going to skyrocket. And I think this time next year, you're going to look at it similar to how you look at the moment at the historical, and you look and you see Ethereum at $9. I think EOS you're going to look at the same next year. I think you're going to look at EOS and think, oh my God, I could have got behind that and I should have got behind it. So that is the cryptocurrency I believe is going to explode. So peeps, that concludes today's episode of Savage Suppo's picks. I love it. So guys, smash up the likes if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments, are you going to invest in EOS? And if so, why? And if you're not, why not? Also, if you have an idea of what you think I should be covering in the next Crypto Picks episode, or Suppo's Picks, then smash in the comments what you think is a great pick for 2018. Until then, guys, I will see you tomorrow. It's lights out, all out.